So we've been doing these Monday night business trainings, and each week, I don't know about you, but I've been getting stretched. I've been learning so much more. And one thing that I know about Plexus, I've known this from the beginning until today, we can bring people into our company like nobody's business. We have got that down. We can recruit, we can get people excited about joining our company, and then something happens. I don't know what it is, although I think I have a sneaking suspicion. Something happens where people don't stay. And I have said this before, people will come to Plexus with these big hopes about the products, but they'll also leave Plexus because they'll say, well, that didn't work for me, or I didn't like the taste of that, or whatever. People will come for the business hoping they can make some extra money. And then if it doesn't happen in 2 weeks, they're like, I'm out, peace. But then they don't leave community. So there is that little piece there. But tonight, I want you guys to invest in being open eared to creating product lifers. Wouldn't you want a team full of people that want to use the products for life? Like, wouldn't that just feel so good that you created people that were that in love with what we offer that they never leave? And that's something that I see both of these ladies that are going to share with you, both Jessicas, they are both so good at getting people committed to the products, to their health goals, and keeping them in the loop, keeping them accountable. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Jessica Hoogendoorn. She's going to share. In fact, she did this on one of the Monday night motivations, I think. You guys are going to learn so much from her. And then we'll pass it over to my friend Jessica Cessna, who's going to also share about that. But get your pencil, get your paper, because this is going to be a note-taking night. I'm going to mute myself, Jessica. You go ahead and get started.
All righty. Hello, amazing Leith team. I don't know what your team hashtag is, so. Okay, so I am super excited to talk about this topic because I'm passionate about it. I was passionate about it way before Plexus. I've been in the health and wellness industry as a naturopath doctor, GAPS practitioner, certified natural health professional, all things love and health. I just love, love, love health. And back when I started my practice about 17 years ago, I met a doctor who, she was a naturopath doctor. She's also a brain surgeon. She has so many letters behind her name. She is brilliant. A very well-known doctor, Natasha Campbell McBride. And she became known over here in the US for her success in healing autism and psychological issues through the GAPS diet. And so I loved it because it's also the way that you work on healing autoimmune and the whole 9 yards. It's basically healing the body from anything through healing the gut. And so she was teaching her protocol over in the US, and I went for a couple years in a row. Every time she had a conference, I went. Finally, I thought, like, this is so revolutionary. I want to become certified as a GAPS practitioner, and I did. But her root cause, she asked a question that forever changed how I think, and I carried that way of thinking into Plexus. And she said, why are we in the health and wellness industry treating people the way the medical world does? We just give them a supplement for a symptom, an oil for a symptom. I love oils. I love supplements. I'm also an herbalist. I sold my business a couple of years ago of herbs. So I love them all. But she said, why don't we ask ourselves the question, where did this start? And why don't we start getting at the root cause of it? Let's weed out the root instead of forever chopping the head off the thistle. And so I took that mindset into Plexus and said, okay, let me backtrack. That takes time. Your body can only heal so fast. And so in the world of natural healing, I always told my people, it's 3 months till you notice a difference, and a month for every year that you've had this health issue. Your body can't heal faster. And that is a time frame if you're eating right, if your diet's coming in alignment, if you're taking the doses that are right for you, if you're giving your body compensating for stress. If you're under stress, your body's going to burn up a whole lot more. So you have to give your body more because it's burning more. It's like a hungry fire. If you want to have a big fire, it's going to take more wood. If you have a big health issue, it's going to take more heavier doses. So we do that. And then, so if you're under stress and you're trying to heal, your body's going to use a whole lot more. And so you have to take enough for what it's needing and then enough to heal on top of that. So if someone's taking 2 probiotics and 1 or 2 BioCleanse and 1 Slim, and they have a raging autoimmune issue, they're not going to heal fast. It's going to take a long time. So I set my people's expectations out by saying, I'm on a Zoom. Okay. You're welcome, children. So I set my people's expectations out with a question. I'll ask them, so how old are you, Jennifer? 36? Awesome. Way to go to taking the steps towards being the healthiest version of you. I am so excited to link arms and help you get to these health issues that you're working towards. We absolutely can. So let's set goals for the next 3, 6, 9 months. What have I done? Right there, I've erased the expectation for 60 days dropping 50 pounds and healing lupus, right? So we're not doing that in 60 days. So I set the expectation out by asking the question, saying, you're 36. Okay. And then I say, it took 36 years to get here. It's going to take time to reverse. It's going to take time to unravel this ball of yarn that's all together. So we set expectations from the beginning for 3, 6, 9 months. And then I tell them if it's something more serious like autoimmune, say we absolutely can do this. It's probably going to be like 2.5 years to really, to make massive differences. But the exciting thing is with Plexus is that you're going to be looking for things that you're going to probably notice pretty quick. So I want you to tell me in the next couple of weeks if you're sleeping better or if you no longer need afternoon naps. I mean, can you imagine? You're not going to need naps anymore. Isn't that awesome? Or maybe your digestive issues are going to start improving. Notice I didn't say be gone. They're going to start improving. You may not have, bloating and gas as much anymore. You're going to have bloating and gas all throughout this protocol, different times, because as your body breaks off junk, that junk is like a slop bucket that sat in the sun. It's going to release gases, but look at gas and bloating like, ooh, raw, this crap is moving out. Sorry if there's kids on this thing, but you're moving junk along. So I'm setting the expectation for things like that. Maybe you're going to have more, the pounds will start to lose as your body comes into balance, but losing weight is just a byproduct. I didn't lose weight for a year and a half because my body needed a lot of work. So we're setting the expectation out from the beginning. So my people go into it looking for long-term. They're thinking we're in here for the long haul. And I make detox as something that is super exciting. So I tell them, if you get headaches, that's a part of the healing process because your body's dumping toxins. Let me know. I'll give you some tips to getting over those. If you have diarrhea sometimes, or else maybe you're going to go where you're bloating and constipated, back and forth is normal initially because your body's going to get rid of junk. If there's a lot of junk there, it needs to get rid of. You may have diarrhea for a couple of days, or you may be gassy for a couple of days. Those are all signs the body is working. So when that happens, just let me know. We're excited because we know the products are working. So we're setting expectations from the get-go. Then I start to cast vision. So before someone even gets a product, I'm on a Zoom with them. Usually when I sign them up, I signed someone up the other day and I said, I never give my link out for them to sign up ever. It's just asking for headache. I will hop on the phone and say, here's my link. Now let's do this step by step. And so when they're done, I'm like, so what does it say now? Congratulations, Wendy. Awesome. Okay, Wendy, this is so exciting. You just got the VIP wholesale office with Plexus. So if I want you to go up and I have them click on their initials and let's click on your account and then scroll down the left-hand side. I want you to look at the perks. So I start talking about the perks and I'm like, okay, Wendy, I am so excited for you. We're going to be working on the anxiety, getting you more energy and start to work on bringing your body into balance to lose weight. But I want to show you a perk of the VIP office. Tonight, you got 250 perks just for signing up. When your order runs next month, you're going to have enough perks to get a free product. So let's look at some of these that you may want to consider. And I'll take Wendy to the children's multivitamin. I was noticing you have the cutest little babies. They are so much fun to watch on social media. When you get your free perks, here's something that you can get for your kiddos. I love the fact that Plexus put probiotics for gut health and multivitamin all in one. So it's like a dynamite duo. And you're going to be working on your kiddos' health, your immune system, and building them up while they're on the supplement. Or over here, I noticed that my hubby, guys tend to not take care of themselves as good as we do sometimes because they're so busy taking care of us. What about the multivitamin? What does your husband take for multivitamin? I love that mine is on the X Factor Plus. He loves how he feels. And I'll talk about the X Factor. And so every couple months, Wendy, you're going to be getting free product. I know that something that all of us women, we like to age backwards. So we're always looking for ways to look younger. One of my favorite regimens is a Joyome combo. It works on the microbiome of our skin. You're going to start to age backwards. You just got to promise me to take a before picture. So treat yourself, let your perks accumulate for a little bit, treat yourself and let me know when you get the Joyome because girl, it blows anything out of the water. It is so good. What have I done? I've expanded, I haven't talked about what she's taking. I've expanded her vision to think beyond herself. I want this to become such a family affair that if she gets moody and in a funk and doesn't want to take her products for a month, the family's not going to let her get away without active. It's not going to let the kids, that she's going to want to get her kids. We're setting up the expectation. I always talk about active because we can send out a sample with the Engage app. So I'll look for things like saying, also talking about the hubbies, because guys, when they take active, they usually notice a difference, and it's not hard for them. They love it, and it's a boom seller. So I'll talk about another thing that you're going to want to get is active. I tell you what, it's my husband, my favorite pre-workout drink, but you know what? I actually have a pack in my car. I have a pack in my purse. I have a pack in my, when I travel, I have it in my makeup bag because active is your favorite friend. So if you're having a rough day, you're carting the kids around to sports, or you're out all day, you're gonna fall in love with active. It's all natural energy. It's boosting your immune system. It's an anti-inflammatory, and guys like it because it increases nitric oxide. You can Google why they like that. Make a joke. So what I'm doing is I'm expanding the horizons. Okay, I did this for a gal, and she had gotten about $400 worth of products. By the time we were done perks, she had over $1,000. And I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "I'm sure." But it was just with 2 or 3 sentences. As she was scrolling, we started talking, and she kept saying, "What about this? What about this? What about this?" So now, are you thinking her husband's going to want to be out of active? No. She's going to try Joy Home. She's going to love it. No. I mean, yes. So the vision has gotten bigger. When you start doing this, I have not had a less than 100 PVer in forever, personally. Why? Because I'm not starting people on just a triplex. Oh, I forgot to say that. I never start people on just a triplex, ever. I always do the Fab Four. Why? Because our soil is so depleted. It doesn't matter if you're a raw foodist, vegan, anything. It doesn't matter how good you eat. It's impossible to get what you need from food. You'd have to eat 5 pounds of spinach to get what they used to get 30 or so years ago from one. 30 oranges, what they used to get the nutrients from one. Who's eating 30 oranges a day and 5 pounds of spinach? That's just the beginning of some of the nutrients. It's impossible. So I am all about organic food. We eat organic, we eat clean, we eat very little carbs. I've done that all, but we need to supplement. So if someone's going to be in a multivitamin, why not be on ours? Plus, they're going to start feeling so much better on the X Factor Plus. They're going to think you're amazing because of how much faster they start feeling good. So when you start them on the Fab Four, you're not going to have the problem either of, oh, I have too much BioCleanse. I just need Slim and ProBio 5 this month, because they'll have Slim, ProBio 5, and X Factor. So in doing this, we are creating the problem of not having less than 100 PV. It's literally a non-issue for my people. So do you see how we're starting to create retention by education? And I have not sold her anything. I have just talked about, and then when I'm doing the perks, I'm talking about our company is so incredibly generous. These perks are one of my favorite places to check because I am getting free product for my family. Sometimes I'll get free product and I'll give it to my mom or my dad. They love active as well. My parents are on all of it, but I'm just using it as an example. You can make something that relates to you. We'll talk about the lean. It is an incredible shake. My kids love having lean in the morning, but if your hubby is someone who gets up and is out the door, you can know that he's getting a good breakfast by having this amazing shake on hand. So it's become a very an extended vision of the products. And when I do this, I use it as an opportunity to educate. So when I'm talking about the active, I will send them a video on the active, and I'll share with them a personal 2 or 3 lines of why I love it. But that video has educated them on the active. If I'm talking about the lean and sending a sample of the lean, I'll send a video explaining it, and I'll maybe send a recipe with it. I'm always using opportunities to educate why, because when people understand why plexus, they're plexus lifers. If someone is on a multivitamin, I'll ask them, if I'm not brought it up in the perks, and I'm just in a course of conversation, because I'm creating, if you were on the first Zoom, I talk about creating those happy fat babies. If I'm in the conversation with my with my mom that I've got started on the Fab Four, and we're talking, and I haven't mentioned the perks, like I haven't mentioned the children's multivitamin, the perks. I'll say something like, "Hey, I noticed your kiddos today. They are so cute. I love that little outfit your daughter's wearing. I so miss that era of life where I was dressing up my little girl in all these cute outfits. I'm just curious, what do your children take for multivitamin?" And we'll get talking. If they're on something, I'll find a way to say, "Way to go, mama, on investing in your kiddos' health. I would love to send you a sample of our children's multivitamin. It is so incredible because it has the probiotics and multi all in one. Would you drop me your address and I'll send you a sample of the kids' multi, my gift to you?" And when I do that, she'll say, "Of course, say awesome." I'll put them, I say, "They're in the mail. Here's a little video explaining it. I'd love to have your feedback. I love hearing mom's inputs on what they find helpful for their kiddos." What I've done is she's got the kids multivitamin. Now she's learned why our multivitamin is exceptional because of the drip of that video. So I use the conversation to always be introducing new products. It is my intention for her to, not in an overwhelmed, but through various means, to fall in love with all our products, but to also know why. You're not going to pull a mom away from a multivitamin that has probiotics and chelated minerals and vitamins all in one if she knows why. If she's just taken it but never really been educated why, well, then it's easy to switch to something else. So use those opportunities to say why. And I'll just end up with something. I'll end with this. So if you have someone who does have their subscription off, or you have someone, yeah, let's talk about subscriptions off. So what happens if you're doing all the right things and you are talking to someone and you're in connection, but maybe life has just gotten busy and all of a sudden you notice that a subscription is off? Has anybody ever had that before? We're like, "Oh my goodness." Okay. I am always looking for ways to, for these situations, to not mention the obvious, like not, "Oh my gosh, go, your subscription's off. What's the matter?" Instead, I'll like to find out the why behind it. So I'll say something like, "Hey Wendy, I was thinking of you today and wanted to check in. How have you been feeling on your supplements? Are you happy with the results that you started Plexus for?" I mean, they're looking for ways to tell you why they're not happy. So I use this line like, "Are you happy with the results that you started Plexus for? I know you and I were working towards having more energy and better digestive health." So I put in there whatever they're working on, I will bring it back up to them to remind them of the ailments that they started for. So I use this example. "I know you and I were working towards having more energy and better digestive health. How do you feel you are progressing in those areas?" And so I use that as an opportunity to, for her to tell me what is the matter. Because if I, very often it can be a misconception, it can be something that, or if they tell you why they weren't happy, it can be like, "Oh, they just needed a tweak in the products," or it could be whatever it may be. But what I do is I want that conversation. I want to hear their heart so that I can start that to get them back on ultimately. But very often I have found that once people are just able to maybe vent, maybe they felt it wasn't happening fast enough, and I can bring them back to, remember those goals we set, those 3, 6, 9 month goals. This is a part of the process. And actually, if you want to, Jen, I can share the video that I've used so often of how long does it take to heal? What is the expectation to heal? And I use a story in that makes sense to them. I don't know what my time is. I won't tell the whole story here, but I use the analogy of an old farmhouse. And the farm, when there's some times in life where you're just varnishing the trim. You don't notice a lot of stuff happening because right now it's a nitpicky varnishing the trim. There's other seasons where you're ripping out cupboards, and every day you're noticing something new. And so when they understand, you just kind of remind them like, "Hey Wendy, right now, honestly, it's just like we're painting the trim. There's stuff happening. Your body is healing. You may not notice it right now, but when this trim is all painted, it's going to be huge." And so you just use those opportunities where the subscriptions are off to, I always think in word pictures, so I use analogies, but just to explain to them that there's seasons of healing. And when you do that, it's like, okay, like, and then I always portray the confidence, like, "Susie, I'm here for the long haul. We always get results. You and I together, we're going to do this." And I share with them a story, but it's going to take, and I list X, Y, and Z. Why don't we do a little tweaking of your supplements, maybe some different doses, and you let me know every day how you're feeling, how it's going. And then maybe we need to address diet, and we'll talk a little bit about diet. But I use that as a reminder that I am here. I am her cheerleader. My arms are linked with her. We're going to do this and we're going to answer the questions. And 95% of the time, guys, they're back on again. It was just kind of like when you have a child, when they act absolutely ornery and you just don't know what to do anymore, but all they needed was a little bit of time with mom, and everything's right with the world. And sometimes all our kids need is a little bit of time with mom. And then they're back to being the awesome kids we knew they were. And so when you kind of look at that, like these people, the same way with ghosters. Sometimes I've had people that they signed up with me, everything was good, and all of a sudden you couldn't find them. They're in WITSEC. And you're like, what's happening to these people? And so I always scroll back and I like to find out, okay, what did they start with so that I can remind them? And I'll say it like, let's say I have a bunch of messages and they're seeing them, but they're not responding. I'll say something like, hey, Wendy, it seems you and I are having trouble connecting. I know life can get busy and messages are buried. I would love to link arms and work together. I know you and I could have wonderful results reaching your goals. A happy gut and more energy is something I get to see people experience every day. If this is not something you want to address now, please let me know. Just say, Jess, please stop following up with me. But if you want to kiss those challenges goodbye and thrive, let's set up a time to connect. Either way, I look forward to hearing back from you. So that rubber band, always reminding them, if they can do this, just tell me no. But if you want to kiss those goodbye, let's talk. And doing that, bringing them back, reminding them what it was, is what I've done for years now, and have retention, because we're family. And sometimes you just got to look at some of these people as their kids that just maybe need a little more information. They maybe need a little bit of you, but it's creating long-term vision. I'd be happy to share, Jen, if you remind me, I'll be happy to share that video. Just please don't share it publicly, but feel free to use that, because a lot of times I think people enter with the misconception of time frame. They think that just because they see these amazing testimonies, it's going to happen quick. It does once in a while, but very, very rarely is serious health issues cleared up in less than 6 to 9, 12 months.
Yes, I would love a copy of that video. And I wonder if I've even seen it, and we won't share it, but I will say this. I was looking at you and listening to you, and you posture yourself with the belief that, yeah, the products are going to work for you. Like, I don't hear any wavering or hesitation. And I think even I will on occasion when someone signs up, I start worrying. Like, I'll feel like this weird, I'm crossing my fingers going, oh, Lord Jesus, I hope these products work for them. And I can tell that that posture has actually primed the road ahead of them. So I'm just encouraging all of you guys. You're not all going to be able to say all the things that Jessica says, but you can say it with confidence. Whatever it is you are saying, you can say it with confidence. And the truth is, I just have to look at these testimonies. I look at them and I go, okay, I know this person. They're not a liar. I know what they struggle with, and I know they don't struggle with that anymore. And I know that what changed was they used our products. And then I know the science is there. So the confidence doesn't need to be wavering, and we just have to preach that to ourselves. Honestly, that was really good. And I like that you said sometimes it's just trim work. Doesn't feel like these big changes. You're like, well, I guess I didn't want to eat a whole bag of chips today, just a little thing. But then later on, it could be a massive shift, a massive change. So good, so good. I appreciate you so much.
My pleasure. I just want to end with this, guys. I have never had anybody that it doesn't work for. And I want to tell you this, and and I'm not saying this, I'm saying this for you to believe in this. What we have with Plexus is we are addressing the root cause. We're addressing the root cause of every single thing. If it's not working, it's they're not being consistent, or they're not taking enough for what they're dealing with, or they're eating like crap and expecting pills to take care of the problem. But you can go in there. I always tell my people, they're not buying the products, they're buying you. Mark it on your computer. They're not buying the products, they're buying you. Do you have the belief that you can come alongside this person, link arms with them, and help them succeed? And if you don't have that belief, you can grab your sponsor. You can grab testimonies, but there is not a time that it's not going to work unless there's some other existing factor that they're not doing right, they're not having enough, because we have the ability with these products to help every single person. So remember, they're buying you.
I'm writing that down too. And I think I know that, but man, it's so easy if you have someone that knocks your confidence down. They're like, you liar, it didn't work. And then you're like, am I a liar? It rattles you a little bit. Okay, fantastic. Loved it so much. I appreciate you so much. So I'm going to move over to my other friend, Jessica. And Jessica is the exact reason why we did the January Drop It Challenge. She was the one that really started to paint that vision for why intermittent fasting was so fantastic. But not just that, she knew how to create a space for people to enjoy the products as a community together. And that's another piece of this puzzle. So I'm excited for her to share what she does to create community when it comes to using the products.
Thank you, Jen. Hey, everyone, Jess here. So everything that Jess said before, I totally agree that whenever you have an idea for somebody and you have a plan set out for them and they are consistent and they commit to it, they're going to see results. I legit go into this with every single person who messages me and says, listen, we don't get sick overnight. We're not going to fix this overnight. So let's make a plan and let's figure out what works best for you. So I listen to them. I make this about them, not about me selling a product. That is my number one thing. We do not sell, we share, and we help. So I always say, tell me what you're looking for. What is like the top 3 things that you want to focus on? Because if they are focusing on only weight loss and you're only focusing on them getting their multivitamins, they're not going to be as happy. They might feel really good, but they're not going to be happy that they didn't lose as much weight as they wanted to. So I focus on, okay, you want weight loss and having some energy. Okay, great. Here is the bigger pack. I always send the biggest pack first, the 199, or I'm sorry, the 209. And I say, this is great because, and I always send the graphic and it kind of explains it. And I say, you're going to love all of this for these reasons. And they're like, well, that's great. Or if it's not in their budget, then I'll send them another smaller one. So I always give them options. But the biggest thing for me, and I preach this to my team, is one, use pictures, graphics, and resources because people love pictures and not novels. I know I respond really good with pictures. So having a graphic with a welcome pack is really, really beneficial. And then only sending 2 options. So sending the bigger pack first. And then if it's not going to work for them in their budget, go to a smaller pack. But if you send them 16 welcome packs, they're going to say, whoa, what's going on? I'm overwhelmed. And you have to narrow it down for them. So hold their hand and help them make that choice. Say, here you go. Which one works for you? So I always make sure we get that settled. I sign them up. And then I literally had a friend message me just about an hour ago, and she had gotten her products today, and I was super excited for her. So I would say, yay, take a picture of your products and send it to me, because this is going to set them up to be able to take a picture and to post it later on. But I also like to know that they got all their products because I have had a few people who may be missing something and they don't even realize it. So I say, take a picture and send it to me. And then I send a voice message because I want them to know how excited I am for them. And this is every single person I've ever had join me. I am excited just as if it's the day that I signed up. I send a voice message and I say, yay, I'm so excited for you. Okay, I'm going to give you instructions and I'm going to explain, but I'm also going to send you a chart on what you need to be doing for the next few days. That way, if you don't remember, you can always go back to the chart, or you can go back to my voice messages. So every single person is always so excited the next day whenever they get to start. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that I treat every one of my people who join me as if they're like my little baby. And every single day we take one little step and we do one little thing. And we just go with it every day, one little step at a time. So tomorrow I'll message her and say, hey, enjoy that pink drink. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Some little motivation And then on day, 2 and 3, I'll message her, and then day 4, and then by week 2, I'm not messaging her every day, but then by week 3, I maybe talk to her twice that week. So I feed her a little bit of information and keep in touch here and there, but I motivate them the entire time and encourage them. And I tell them the biggest thing that they need to remember is their water intake and to take pictures and stay off the scale. And I preach that to every single person I talk to, if they're on my team or not. Stay off the scale. That number does not define you. And I can guarantee you're probably going to feel a whole lot better if you lose 5 inches than if you were to lose 2 pounds. So that's huge for me. And I just preach, stay positive, drink your water, stay off the scale, and please keep talking to me. Like, keep me in the circle. I want to know everything. If you start to have a little bit of doubt, come to me. Let's fix it. And then I always make sure when somebody joins me that on the day that they join, I write down their subscription date. And on my planner, I know, hey, your subscription is running here on this day, because it's so easy for us to forget things. But if it's on the planner that day, we'll remember it. And if there's a certain day where I know I have to remind them to drink their water or change this up or whatever it may be, it's so much easier if we write it down and keep us accountable for them. That's what helps me coach them. And I love doing it, because they say, you know what, I appreciate it so much. And that's what's going to really stick with them and have them keep doing this. So I always try to make sure that I have a really great relationship with them, and coaching everyone and just reminding them, like, you can totally do this. You just got to stick with it and remember why you joined.
Mm. You said something at the beginning, and I think I realized I have a scarcity mentality. You said we don't get sick overnight, so we're not going to get well overnight. And I heard this voice in the back of my head saying, they're going to think that we just want to trick them into ordering the products extra months. But you know what I mean? Like prolonging, like, oh, it's just even when Jessica was saying it could take 6, 9 months, it could take 12 months, it could take 2 years. And I'm like, what if they think I'm just trying to get them to keep spending their money? But it's all in our posture. And so you even called yourself a coach, like you're literally health coaching them. And I think people that create product lifers go into it with a strength, a positivity. And that's what I heard in you, even the way you just described it. And then you did say one other thing. You said, stay off the scale. And oh my gosh, do I forget to say that to people, especially knowing that the inches are actually way more powerful than even the pounds. What do you do if someone comes back and says, oh, I think I've gained 3 pounds and I haven't done anything different? Like, what would you say to them? Do they do that to you?
Absolutely. I say, well, you were supposed to throw that scale away, but how do you feel? Have you been drinking your water? And that's my number one thing, is like, ask questions. I don't panic. I know so many people who panic, because I did in the beginning. And I say, relax, it's okay. Have you been drinking your water? How do you feel? And how do your clothes fit? And if there's all those issues are wrong, evaluate. Let's troubleshoot. Let's see what we can do better and improve.
So good. I had a lady message to me today, and she's on day 3. She goes, starting day 3 and still no change. What should I do? And at first I want to be like, seriously, lady? But then I realize when someone opens up every bit of their vulnerability, like they have talked to you about their bowel movements, they've talked to you about their fears with their health. I mean, they have exposed themselves. I was like, okay, I need to honor that she did that and not react. And so I came back and I said, remember, I told you to give it time. And I wrote in all caps, everyone has results, but their time frame differs. And we ended up talking a little bit more, and she ended it with, okay, I'm excited. I'm going to take my products when I get home, and 3 little hearts she sent me. And so all we have to do is be that strength in the storm. We have to be the strong for them. It's just in the human condition to quit. And if you guys can create product lifers, what happens is if a person uses the products for a year, their mother-in-law comes over and they're like, you're still drinking this stuff? Maybe I need to look into it. Like, you've been doing this for a year. She tries it. And then a year later, her neighbor comes over and she's like, I've been seeing you drink this. That is how the business grows in a meaningful way. Okay. literally the best night ever. I'm so thrilled, and I'm glad it's recorded because I couldn't write stuff down fast enough. Thank you, Jessica and Jessica. I will post this recording. We have another another business training next Monday night, and it's about crucial conversations, which basically means having the hard conversation and not feeling awkward and turning red. So I'm excited about that for next week. Thanks again, Jessica. You guys have a great night.